broadly, what lessons did the president learn after the fall of Kabul, which led to its own refugee crisis? What did he, I guess, learn from what at the time was viewed as kind of a fumbled response initially to hundreds of thousands of Afghans seeking to flee the country?
As it relates to Ukraine, or just in general?
As it could potentially be applied to Ukraine.
Well, I would say ending a 20-year war that was failed, where we were spending billions and trillions of dollars every month and every year, is a very different circumstance than what we're looking at here, which is the buildup of Russian troops on a border in Ukraine. This doesn't involve U.S. troops in Ukraine, right? So very different circumstance. I would say what we're applying, I would say, let me take it in a slightly different direction. What the president has learned from his time in the foreign policy world and working on global diplomatic issues over the past several decades is that it's imperative to work closely with your partners and allies and approach it from a united front, that we need to contingency plan and have a range of options, even as we're leaving the door open to diplomacy, which is certainly always the preferred path, and I think that's what you're seeing him do now. And that as it relates to Russia, which is a very different entity, of course, than what we were dealing with in Afghanistan, that the unending ability and capacity for the country to, and the leadership, I should say, to spread misinformation, attempt to lay the predicate for an invasion is something that we have to be quite mindful of. That's a very different circumstance, but certainly he leans on and his decades of experience in foreign policy. Go ahead.